Hello, welcome to this first tutorial key points video for W201 in 2012. I'm intending to produce these videos for each of our tutorials as a brief summary of what we've done in each tutorial, and you should have them available within a couple of days of the tutorial taking place. Now normally what I will do is start off by looking at the last TMA that you've written, highlighting some of the issues in the reading in the weeks to come, and finish off by previewing the next TMA that you'll be writing. But this first tutorial has a very different purpose, and that's first of all to do some introductions. So what we did was we introduced each other. And what became clear was that within our group there is a formidable wealth of experience, of life, of law, of study, a wealth of insight, a desire to learn and a desire to share that learning. Now, what would be great is if you could get in contact with other students outside tutorials. But of course, because of data protection law, I can't release to you details of other students. But if you send to me an email giving me permission to release certain details and telling me what details you want to release, perhaps your home phone number, your mobile, your email, your Skype name, your Facebook name, whatever, then I will take any emails I receive, prepare a document which lists those details where permission has been given, and I will supply those to anybody who has themselves supplied me with information. So if you're interested in sharing those details, do send me an email in the next few days. We also had an introduction to the course, and I've already dealt with this in the previous video that I prepared for you. But what I stressed was that this course deals with a major problem, and the problem is human nature, and people do bad things and people abuse power, and constitutional law is about how do you control the use of power to make sure that their abuses don't happen. And I would constantly remind you to look at Lord Acton's comment about power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, because it is central to an understanding of why we need a constitution and is behind many of those constitutional rules that we've developed. Administrative law is the application of that to specific decisions made by usually the executive. Criminal law deals with behaviour that either we wish to discourage or that we wish to force people into by producing sanctions if they don't do something. So that was the course. We also looked at resources, and I've sent you an email about a number of those resources which are available to you. I would stress the value of being legally aware, taking a note of what's happening in the news. I mean, on any given day you can pick up a serious newspaper and you'll find a number of items that are directly relevant to our course. Now, as luck had it, yesterday the newspapers for our first tutorial were all about the resignation of a government minister. It highlights the issues of ministerial responsibility, which is of course a topic that does come up in your first TMA, a question of criminal offences relevant to the final part of your course. There were other stories as well, and I'd encourage you to get into the practice of reading newspapers, looking at the news for legal stories. On studying, I stress the value of doing a little, a lot, as opposed to doing nothing for a while and then trying to do it all in one concentrated effort. I have a number of bad habits, and it's very difficult to get out of bad habits. Good habits too can be difficult to get out of. So if you get into the habit of a little bit, even if it's only a few minutes a day, by the end of this course you'll have built up a formidable amount of work. We finished off the tutorial by looking at the TMA that you'll be doing for the beginning of March. 2 questions. The first one is dealing with conventions. Do have a look at the different definitions that can be found of conventions. And as you look at those different definitions, consider what aspects are being stressed. Because people will have different insights into what conventions are. Do think about the different definitions proposed and the points that they're highlighting. Give some examples. There are some really good concrete examples that you can use. And something to think about, and it is also part of the question, is discuss why they're observed. Those countries that have rigid constitutions, written constitutions, sometimes look at our system and think, well, you haven't really provided for all eventualities. You have a convention that the Queen will sign every bill that is presented to her, having been passed by both Commons and Lords. What if she doesn't? The answer, of course, is she wouldn't think of it. And that's very unsatisfactory for people who are used to a constitution which is regularly invoked in the courts, like people from the United States. But you need to think about why they might be observed. What kind of pressures does it exert? What kind of maths will people be doing in terms of, if I do this, what will the effects be? If I keep to the convention, what are the benefits? What are the costs of ignoring a convention? Question 2 is about ministerial responsibility, and remember that there are 2 variants. Individual responsibility, the responsibility a minister has for what goes on in his own department, and the collective responsibility of all members of government to back whatever the government has decided collectively. Give examples, and it's useful to think about why ministers resign. And of course, make sure that any assertions you make are backed with legal authority. In your manuals, and I've sent a handout which highlight these 2, the House of Commons resolution of March 1997 and the Public Administration Select Committee's report from 2006 and 2007, again, which stress what ministerial responsibility means. Okay, well, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next tutorial.